Hello sweet friend, my name is Maike and this video is going to be a cozy, chatty catch-up video. I have a couple of things that I want to share with you that I thought would be interesting to see. So sit back, relax, or journal alongside of me. Well, I'm not doing journaling, but you could join me and you do the journaling and I do the chatting. And we're gonna start with da-da-da. I bought the Point of View original diary dual book. I've talked extensively about this in one of my recent videos and talked myself into buying this, and I thought, you know what, I think this is going to be such a good experiment and I do want to show this. Some of you said that you were interested in this too, and so I figured I'll be the guinea pig and try it out and share my findings with you. I bought this off of the Pinky Elephant, and I haven't seen this anywhere else on any other store. So yeah, that's what it's called, Point of View. There. And first of all, the design is beautiful. I think it's really nice, that POV there. So pretty, and this is sort of a leatherette, and this book is A6 size, and I figured we could do a little flip through here so you can see what this looks like. We have sort of our standard opening with like a title page, and then we have 2026 and 2027, and I don't know if you can already tell there, it is quite creamy, the paper, which I don't think I was aware of, but I like cream paper, so it's fine by me. So this is a Midori paper. It's very similar, I would think. Yeah, so that's nice. That was a pleasant surprise for me. And then you get a timeline, so the entire year broken up into columns by month. Not sure how I'm going to use this or if I'm going to use this, but that's fine. And then we get the monthly overviews starting with this December, which is really exciting, which means I can go ahead and get started in this. And I think I know what I'm going to do with this. Since I'm going to do daily drawings in the daily pages, I don't want to do little doodles necessarily for each day. And so I recently watched a video by Nina, and I'll have her channel linked below, and she does this wonderful thing with her Hobonichi Weeks monthly overviews, where she does bigger illustrations but still fits a bunch of things on a page, and some of them are month specific. And so I'm just gonna do like a favorites overview in the December calendar pages. I think that's going to be nice. So it's not going to be a drawing per little square, but maybe one drawing takes up this much space, one drawing takes up this much page section on the page. You get the gist. So we're going to go through all the months, and then we are eventually, oh, and it goes till January 2027, getting to the dailies, which is the exciting part. So as you can see, it's every day a horizontal box like this, and then just really minimalistic graphic design here for the, will you focus? For the day, the month, and then the week number. So yeah, that's gonna be so fun. And in case you haven't seen my previous video, I did try this layout in this Midori grid notebook, and it's just, yeah, it's just fun. It just clicked right away. I think this is such a fun exercise to do, and yeah, I've just been really enjoying it. This, I still have to do the coloring. It's just such a fun way to use my fountain pen inks. This is Yuki Osagi, which creates such a nice winter atmosphere, I think. And yeah, so this is what I'm gonna be doing in this, just a daily snapshot. And I do like this quote-unquote formula of fountain pen ink and marker. It's kind of fun. And I even found that the boxes that I estimated are a little smaller than the boxes are going to be in this point of view journal. But yeah, that's gonna be quite nice. And then I did want to share with you the pen test. So in terms of the paper, this in the back just says that it's Japanese paper, 61 GSM, but it does not say what kind of paper it is. But it did claim to be fountain pen friendly, which is true. But yeah, I can't tell you exactly what the paper is. It feels similar to Midori paper, I would say. So it's not slick. It has some tooth to it. Maybe even more like Midori cotton paper, perhaps. But this is how some of my inks showed up. Pretty true to color, I would say. So that's gonna be nice. And there's no bleeding, and so far no feathering. And then you do get some ghosting that is to be expected at 61 GSM. And then I also tried markers. They work just fine. And some watercolor, they also work fine. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to use watercolor, but I figured it's always good to see. And then, yeah, again, nothing coming through. I do want to still Google Translate some of these back pages because I think this is probably going to be interesting. It has just based on context, because there are some English words. I think it talks a little bit about how you can interpret maybe point of view. So here seems to be some information about point of view in philosophy and literature and art, and how you can create a point of view based on your tool or a scene, or archive by own point of view. So yeah, that's still a little bit of a mystery what's going on here, but I think that's going to be nice to read. And then we have a couple more of those pages. Inspiring tool, efficient tool. Yeah, all right. So there's that. So the layout overall is very simple, but I love it for that. I just think it's really nice. So can't wait to get this started. I think I'm going to put a clear cover on this and just leave it as is, because I do enjoy the design so much. Maybe eventually I'll add some stickers. I don't know. Probably not though. So yeah, I have been going with this and keeping up with this, and it's just really, really fun. And sometimes I try to make the drawings accurate to, for example, our kitchen. This was me doing a workout in the kitchen because it's a great space to roll out our yoga mat. So this is relatively accurate to our kitchen, but then other things I changed just to make them look fun in the drawings. So for example, our headboard in our bed doesn't look like that. Those kinds of things. So it's a mix of everything, and it has also shown me that I think I know what things look like or places look like that I go to often, and I don't. So I think this is going to inspire me to also do more drawing on location. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a fun little exercise. Oh yeah, and this, I wanted to point out here, I used one of my self-made markers. Hold on. This is one of the Pebeo Colorex markers that I filled with Sailor 273 ink. And it was the first time that I used any of my ink markers for a larger area. And it is quite streaky compared to, say, a Tombow. So that's something to take note of. Well, maybe this just looks less streaky because it's a lighter color. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll keep you posted on that, how that works out. Yeah, very exciting. So that was the first thing that I wanted to share with you. Next up, I have 2 new pens, really exciting. The first one is the Pilot E95S, and I got it in a medium. And I have to thank you, everyone who used my Atlas affiliate code, because this was basically a gift from you to me, a self-selected gift, because I was able to get this with affiliate credit. And oh my goodness, I have just fallen in love with this little pen. I watched a bunch of reviews of this pen, and everybody keeps saying how nice of a writer this is, and it's true. It's just a smooth Pilot nib and just glides across the paper, and the size is just so nice. Something that I've noticed this year is how much I love pocket pens, and a lot of the positive reviews point out how long this pen gets when you post it, how much of a, you know, full-sized pen it's turning into. And I love it because it's so short. I don't post it. I think this just feels like a cute little crayon that you draw with. And yeah, this is just incredible. The one thing I will say, here, let me show you. What can I show you? This. These are just a couple doodles, but I filled it with Sailor Kiwaguro, if that's how you say it, which is Sailor's Pigment Black ink. And I always assumed that all pigment inks are waterproof, that you use it to be able to watercolor over top of it or use markers. This is not waterproof at all. It just comes up, and as you can see, I could do ink and wash with this pretty much. So that's a bummer, because overall, as a black ink, I really like it, because it's really rich. It looks almost shiny, and it flows really nice, especially in this Pilot E95S. But yeah, it definitely comes up with water. Also with tumble markers, I tried that too. So yeah, that's just something to note. And then also something that I really enjoy about how the pen body is made, because it doesn't really have a grip section. It just is this long barrel, I guess. You can just decide where you want to hold it, which is really nice for sketching, because if we go, these are my notes. If you want to, you can obviously hold it all the way back and be really loose with your sketches. What can we sketch? What do I have on my, well, we have our little friend here. If, say, I wanted to draw her really loosely, I could hold the pen really far back and just be like really loose. Now, obviously with her design, I don't know if you would want it to be really loose. She's probably gonna look really funny. But yeah, I definitely am in the club of Pilot E95S lovers now. I'm wondering if I should get another one in the fine before Pilot is raising the prices starting in January, but I don't know. I do like this medium quite a bit. Yeah, questionable drawing, but you get the gist. It's really nice. Just can't recommend the Sailor Kiwaguro if you want to go over it with water. And then the other pen is a Leonardo Momento Magico, which is a really nice model, I think, because it is a piston filler. Well, it's a really nice model if you do like piston fillers, but I do like piston fillers, especially if they're not all transparent like a demonstrator. I'm not too keen on demonstrator pens, but yeah, this material is so pretty. I bought this pen off of Wendi Sue. I have her channel linked below as well. And so yeah, I was happy to get that from her because I think this model is slowly vanishing from retail stores, I've noticed. And I haven't inked this up yet because I'm waiting on an ink sample that I really want to try with this. And I am planning on trying this out with a sailor nib. So I think I'm gonna buy myself a flexible nib factory housing, which allows me to screw in a sailor nib into this Yovo housing. And then I'm gonna use that with a sailor nib. I thought that would be fun. And I liked this so much in terms of the weight and the way that the barrel is made, or the grip section is made, that I actually finally decided to let go of my Leonardo Momento Zero Angel Skin, because I always felt like it was a little bit too heavy and the grip section wasn't really for me. So I actually enjoy this model better. So yeah, and I love the colors. It is so warm and so enchanting. It's really funny because this little speck here stands out so much because it has this translucent rim around the blue. It's quite funny, but yeah, super pretty. If you were somebody who is into matching pens to their inks, you'd have a lot of options here. So yeah, these are my 2 new editions and I'm really excited. And then when Wendi Sue sent me the pen, she also was so sweet to send me some onion skin paper. And I have never tried this before, and maybe we'll just take this one paper right here. And I thought we could play around with this a little bit and try it out with some fun inks and see what we got. Obviously, just any writing on this will turn the paper so crinkly, but I also was curious how some of these inks will look because they are, well, this one here does fun things depending on what paper you put it on. This is Sailor Suki Kokoro. And then depending on how we feel about that, I thought it would also be nice to use my Tono and Limbs The Soul of the Rose ink, because this is dip pen only and I want to use it. So this might be a nice dip pen situation. And I don't know, we could maybe also try the Sailor 273 if we feel like it, but we'll see about that. Okay, so we do need a dip nib, don't we? Okay, and do we have some water? I think we do. Okay, fun. Well, maybe I'll zoom you in a little bit. Okay, let's start with the Suki Kokoro and see what we can see. Oop. Yeah, depending on different papers, this can show up blue, but it also turns olivey green on, for example, Midori paper. So yeah, this is really fun. And let's just do some flowers. Oh, this is fun. And then do some hearts. It feels quite smooth, which is nice. I have seen, well, Sophie McPike has done a couple things with onion skin paper that always looked so nice. Oh yeah, look, see? It's turning a little bit green. There's a little bit of feathering, which I'm surprised by. But also this, obviously this Kakimori nib dumps a lot of ink on the page. And I don't know if there's different kinds of onion skin paper. If you know, let me know. Or is that one kind of like Tomoe River paper where there's one manufacturer who makes it? But it is very nice to draw on. That is so fun. Some smaller ones. And just like so. Yep, that's fun. And then let's see what the Soul of the Rose gives us. If I can get it open. Let's try some more, because they're so soothing, to do some more flowers. Whoops. Yeah, I think this ink is a little drier. I think I've mentioned that before. This is dip pen only, but I have tried it in a TWSBI before, and it was alright. Like, it didn't damage the TWSBI, but the flow was maybe a little dry. So I ended up uninking it after all. So I do love drawing with my Kakemori nib, but I'm always shying away from the dip pen only inks because it's just so, I always feel like maybe that's a little limiting. How do you feel about dip pen inks? I know Sailor also has a line of dip pen only inks. But then also maybe that would mean I'll use the pen more. Oh wait, let's try that with water rather than the lines. Let's see what that looks like. Probably most of you have seen Simone as Diamine Inkvent, and she's been doing such wonderful things with activating her inks with water and really getting to see all the different nuances of the ink and just being really painterly with it and free with it. It's really fun. So take an inspiration from that just slightly. I'm not really a painterly person in the sense that value things. I find that pretty hard, actually. Ooh, look at that. Something like that. Oh yeah, this is fun. Look at the Suki Kokoro. Look what's happening with this like a red and this olivey green color. Man, that's such a fun ink. Yeah, this one is interesting. The crystal line from Tono and Limbs, the pen inks, they talk about what kind of pigments are in there, and it all looked so interesting, and it sounded like there was lots going to go on with this ink. And though I love this kind of terracotta color, it it's not as nuanced and textured as I thought it would be. So I find this, for example, the Sailor Suki Gokuro, much more interesting in terms of how the colors change. So, yeah. But that is really fun. And then, of course, the paper is so thin that you get a lot of it showing through the other side. So either you just, if this is the sketchbook, you just use one side, or you can even play with things coming through, and then you, for example, have the draw a little fairy here now, and then that sort of combines into one picture, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I do like how the inks show up on here. I mean, again, there's a little bit of feathering with the Suki Gokuro. I don't know if you can see that. Just slightly, but yeah, really, really fun. I will definitely play with that some more, and let me know, have you tried onion skin paper before? Do you like it? What do you use it for? Because I also know that people really enjoy using it with watercolor. Do we want to try that too? Yeah, let's do just a little quick test out while we're here. We might as well, right? Because I could see this definitely be really pretty with watercolor. Let's see, let's just get some trees going. Ooh, that's very light. Nope. Just gonna go for it here. Very crinkly. Probably. And then of course this is, yeah, like I said, probably very fun to do with chromo shading inks or things that kind of fall apart a little bit when you activate them. Yeah, I think, why am I now blanking on Sophie McPike? She did the Diamond ink vent one year in this, and she also activated some of the inks with water and diluted them and things and brought out all the complexities, and that just looked amazing. Of course, her art is just also amazing, so this is obviously still wet. But yeah, the crinkliness of it is just so fun. Yeah. And then maybe you just go in. I bet these stay wet pretty long, so you could do all kinds of fun things with going back in and introducing different colors to make these color shapes all interesting and have it bleed into each other. Yeah, fun. I'll let this dry and show you once this is dry, but I have one more thing that I want to show you. I have realized this year how much I love wrapping my notebooks in fabric and just having that be the cover. I just like the look of fabric. I like the touch of fabric. Just love, love, love. And so for next year, I ordered some new fabrics, and these just came, and I think they're beautiful. This just this stripe, and this is a pretty tough fabric, really nice. And then I thought it would look nice together with this Japanese flower fabric. I got these pieces from a shop called something with Harmony. I'll have it linked below, but the nice thing about that shop is that they sell smaller pieces, because obviously I don't want like a full meter or full yard. So I'm always excited when I find shops that allow you to purchase these smaller amounts. And I thought this would be so nice for my ink journal next year. It's this beige color, but it has these almost neon orange and yellow specks throughout, and it just looks like little driplets of color. And I thought that was so nice. And so what I wanted to do with you here is to try out a new way of attaching the fabric to the book. Usually I use Mod Podge, but I'm curious if you can just do it with the glue stick. My favorite glue of the year. And yeah, because sometimes it's very easy to I overdo it with the Mod Podge, and then everything gets super messy and the covers can turn really stiff once the Mod Podge is dry, because I use so much. So I'm curious about this, and I figured if I'm gonna mess up, why not do it on camera? So you'll be warned, or you can chuckle at me for my naivete. And yeah, oh, that's gonna be so cute. So let's see. We'll start with the front cover, and then if this works, I'll spare you the rest. I'll just show you what the end result is. I do have a video where I show the entire process, and I'm gonna do the same thing, except that I'm obviously using different glue. And I guess I could put a paper here. Can use a piece of paper so I don't glue all the pages together. And this is actually the ink journal that I started using this summer. However, it used to be an A5, and I decided I just can't with the A5 size. So I took out all the pages that I did this year, which wasn't that much because, again, I just didn't click with the A5 size. And so I had it cut down to A5 Slim, which I've been really enjoying this year. And so, yeah, this is an A5 Slim now, and I'm just restarting the same ink journal in 2026, or now. I mean, it doesn't have to be the first for me to start this. Okay, let's see here. Put that about, well, I do need enough. No, even further. And I always say when I do, and maybe I'll zoom you out a little bit further. As I always say, I'm not the neatest of crafters, so. Oh, and should I put some glue on the spine too? Maybe. Wow, this glue dries really fast. Hopefully that didn't take too long here. Just pull it taut and smoosh it on there. And this fabric is a little see-through, but with the creaminess of the General Midori cover, I think that still looks really nice. There's a lot of glue right here, and when the glue isn't dry yet, it's blue. So that'll go away, hopefully. I think that's gonna work. Yay. Yeah. I mean, right now you could still somewhat pull it off if you wanted to, but I think that's gonna dry just fine. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. Well, do we want to at least finish off the front cover together? And if you've seen my video, what I do for the spine, and I don't want to cut my bookmark. kind of cut where the spine is. Creating a little tab. Oh no, and I already glued the spine down. I shouldn't have. Because I like to hide this tab in here. So we'll do that first. Like so. And then we can pull this in, and we gotta do that up top too. Make sure that's aligned. Can you even see what I'm doing? I'm not so sure you can. I swatched out all the samples that I have again to get me started in this book, which was quite soothing to do. And I do this one to be able to wrap the fabric around, but also this means that if I was to just cut it and not glue this tab on the inside, the fabric might fray. And so this way it just has a neat finished edge where the spine is. Yeah, and then I just glue these down, and I'm going to glue this page over top so it doesn't matter how straight these fringes are, but I will cut off some of the fabric at the corners so there's not so much bulk. No, actually we can go all the way to the corner like so. Well, here I was telling you that I'm not gonna show this entire process again, but I guess here we are. We'll just do the front and then I'll cut and show you once it's all done. I am still waiting on 2 more notebooks that I'm also gonna have cut down to A5 slim. This is my official appeal to Midori to start making A5 slim. Okay, so I just put the glue on the fabric. Maybe I'll just go around the page as well. Do you have notebooks that you cut down yourself, or do you go to a place where you have yours cut down? I have found that Staples in the US is a really good place, but UPS also cuts down. UPS charges 50 cents per cut, but in the case of like an A5 slim, for example, since you're only cutting it shorter, that's only 1 cut, so that's 50 cents per notebook. If I keep doing this, then I might eventually just invest in a big paper cutter that can cut through a thick notebook, but don't really want a big cutting machine right now. Or not machine, it's I guess just a cutter. But yeah, my just general all-purpose notebook this year was an A5 slim, and I really enjoyed it. I think at this point I might even like A5 slim more than the standard traveler's notebook size. Yeah, that extra little bit of width, just, I don't know, even if it's just nice negative space, gives just a little bit more breathing room on the page. Pulling it tight. Well, I mean, it does glue down really nicely. Let's hope that I don't have to come back in a week to tell you that everything came loose again. Fabric stuck to my fingers. Yeah. I think that's working just fine. And again, you could also cover this with a different piece of fabric or a patterned piece of paper to make the insides a different color and pattern. That might be nice too. Maybe I'll do that. I'll see what I have. But yeah, I can also suggest if you want to just keep it simple, just take one of the first pages and glue that to the front, and then you can also hide your raw fabric edges. Or you could just be really nice and neat with this and keep it as is. Or you don't mind the quirky look of this. But yeah. All right, I'll finish the rest and show you then. And here it is, all wrapped up. It feels so cozy already. I just love fabric on my notebooks. And yeah, I think this is working. I'll definitely keep you posted in case this does come apart. And I think that's a nice way of just quick and easy, you know, with less seepage than Mod Podge. And then I will have to think about what I want to do with this, but to be honest, I might just again glue down the end papers because that is just nice and easy, clean solution. And I'm really excited about this journal now. Sometimes it's just the little things, right? I know that to some people that might sound silly to restart a notebook and have it cut down and things like that, but I already love this way more than I did previously. And here I swatched out all of my samples in color families somewhat, which is very satisfying to look at. It's just a nice way to again break the ice with the notebook, and can't wait to play some more in this. And I think it's beautiful. Yeah, just those little specks, a little bit of color. And then if I do end up having little bits and pieces of ink on here, they're just gonna blend in. It's just gonna look like that's what it was supposed to look like. So that's that. And then I did want to show you the watercolor dried, and it looks very interesting. Quite a different effect than on regular paper. Really soft. You could definitely play around with the softness of it all. I would also wonder if you could do color on one page and then crinkly, crinkly, crinkly. You could take the previous page and go over it with lines and play around with those kinds of layers. Super fun. Yeah, so thank you, Wendi, if you're watching, for sending along some of this paper. I'll definitely have a good time playing with this. But yeah, I think, was that all that I wanted to show you? We talked about the fabric, we talked about the paper, we talked about the new pens. What else? We did talk about the point of view. Yeah, I think that is it from me this week. If you want to let me know that you've made it this far, leave me some scissors, a scissors emoji. And as always, I hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I hope you had a lovely time journaling or doing your thing or just relaxing. And yeah, let me know in the comments what's up with you. All right, until next time, happy journaling.